All right, we'll go ahead and continue on with availabilities this afternoon at Texas Motor Speedway. We are now joined by Carl Edwards, driver of the number 19 Sport Clips Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Carl, you've had 3 wins here at Texas. Yep. Talk about capitalizing on your past success at this track with only 2 races left in the Eliminator round.
I haven't even said anything yet. Lee Spencer's already shaking her head at me, so no. I'm sorry. So, all right, just messing around with you. What's that? Yeah. No, this track's a lot of fun. It's Eddie and everybody here puts on a great show. It's obviously a really important race for us. We didn't have the best run at Martinsville. That was frustrating. I was really excited about that race, and then it went about average for me. And so now we're here at a track that we have some great history at. I do as a driver, and our mile-and-a-half program is stepping up. And the car was fast in practice, so maybe you guys were all right. Maybe Texas is my best chance in this round. So it's going well so far.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll start up front with Wolfgang and then go back to Daniel.
Karl, Wolfgang Monser from Germany, Rennsport Press. As far as I know, we have new rules package for next year.
Yeah.
You run already. Did you feel any big difference, driving behavior or set up the car compared to before?
Well, I think that rules package is a huge step forward. We've talked about that a lot. I think especially at a track like this where the pavement has aged and Goodyear's got the tire matched really well, they might even be able to go a little softer with them. Having the cars move around and be able to drive them a little bit sideways and have to manage the throttle and all that, I think is a great thing. So that package, I really look forward to it. This track, even in qualifying trim there in practice, kind of drives in that manner. The car can move a little bit more, and you can correct here. The tires will take a little bit more of more slip, and I really enjoy that type of racing. It's a lot of fun.
All right, we'll go to Daniel and then Bob.
Daniel McFadden for NBC Sports. There's only 3 races left with Jeff Gordon in Sprint Cup. Looking back on your career, do you remember the first time you raced against Gordon on the track, and what's your favorite memory of competing with him?
My first time on the track with the Sprint Cup Series guys in a race was at Michigan, and I just remember that race. I remember everyone. I remember all the I couldn't believe I was on the track with guys like Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace and all of them, and just the intensity that being able to race with those guys is crazy. And as I've raced with Jeff, for all these years, I think my favorite memory was Sonoma, where for me that road course win was huge, and to have Jeff Gordon finish second, I mean that was really it meant a lot to me to be able to hold him off and to win there, having watched him race and be so successful at that track. And then the coolest part was him coming to victory lane and shaking my hand and congratulating me on a good race. That was something that was really special to me.
All right, we'll go to Bob and then to Alan in the back.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Concerning the events of the last 5 days, have you learned anything about driver code or rules or how to race somebody in certain situations?
I don't know. I guess not really. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it all means. I can't. I guess it. My plan is just to go forward, race like I have all year, to try to win one of these next 2 events and be locked in at Homestead and go win the championship. There's so many factors in this situation, so many different things happening. It's hard to really line it all up and say, oh, okay, this is why this happened, and this is how how to proceed going forward. I think it's it seems pretty complex. So I'm just gonna focus on my deal and move on.
All right, we'll go to Alan and then Lee.
Alan Cavada, Fox Sports, back
Could
here.
You speak up? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, but I had a similar question. Just wondering if you've used driver code in the past to maybe settle a dispute on the racetrack.
Are you serious?
Well, no. Did it? No.
I think you guys have covered most of that this week.
What I want to know is, did it work? Did it get?
I had forgotten some of the things I'd done.
Did it work? Did it get what you wanted out of doing it that way?
I don't know. I mean, it's just it's car racing, and really, everybody drives their car and does the best they can, and man, it's just you just got to do what you think is the best and what is the right thing to do at the time, And all of us have done all sorts of things. Some of them were right, some of them definitely weren't right. But you just got to go out there and race everybody the way that you want to be raced, and then in some ways you have to demand the same in return. And I think Mark Martin, very early on, we were racing at Bristol, and I think it was 2004, maybe even end of 2004, maybe 2005. And Mark, I mean, he's a mentor of mine. He's one of my heroes. He helped me a ton in my career. And during that race, he ran into the back of me so hard, it was all I could do to not wreck. And I thought, man, I wonder what happened there. I just didn't know what was going on. So Monday, I called him. I was like, hey, Mark. I said, hey, Carl. I said, what? I said, remember during the race when you ran to the back of me, I didn't know, is there something that I need to know there? And he said, no, see, for the last few races, you've been racing me pretty hard, and, I thought you were taking a little more, and, I just figure if that's how you want to race, that's how we'll race. And I was like, whoa, no, I don't want to race like that. They said, oh, okay, fine, well, then don't, and we won't. It's like, okay, cool. Nice talk. He's like, all right, see you next week. And, I mean, that was it. So it made me realize that, hey, you do have to be, I personally try to race everyone the same way I'd like to be raced, and everybody makes mistakes. If I make a mistake, I try to say, hey, look, I made a mistake there. And for the most part, I think everybody does a really good job of that in the garage.
All right, we'll go to Lee and then Jay.
Sorry, Alan was in grade school when you dumped Keselowski at Atlanta. Do you and most of the drivers understand now where the line is and what type of repercussions that'll follow if something like that happens again? And are you wearing a free Matt T-shirt underneath your driver's suit?
Yeah, I was going to do the whole interview like this. Just, no, Matt, I talked to Matt a little bit, and I think a lot of Matt. I think... I guess I don't know. I mean, I think that it was a shock. It is definitely a shock, the penalty to me, and I think everyone will be on pretty decent behavior because of that. I mean, if that's how it's going to be, then you definitely have to be careful. I know I don't have a free Matt T-shirt. I can get one from Denny, I bet. But
we'll go.
All right.
We'll go to Jay and then Jerry.
Jay Pennell, Fox Sports, kind of similar. What's the mood been at the shop? I mean, we saw Denny's tweet yesterday with the free Matt shirt on, and just are the guys surprised? Is kind of rallying around everybody? Just what's the mood in the shop over the last week?
I mean, everybody's just blazing forward to win the championship. I mean, I don't. When I saw Matt. We got a little group text thing going, and he was talking about fantasy football and everything this week. I mean, he's seems to be pretty relaxed, but as a group, we really feel like we have a shot to win this championship, and that's what my 19 team is working on. And I talked to Darian about it a little bit this week as we were going to lunch. It's like, man, we got a fourth team that we started. We've never worked together, and here we are with a shot at this. We got fast cars, and we need to just keep working on that. And I really feel that the competition is as tough as it's ever been, and I feel like to go out and do what we need to do, we need to just focus on being as fast as we can be, and everybody in the shop appears to me to just be doing that. Nobody's looking backwards; they're all looking forward.
All right, we'll go to Jerry and then Dustin.
Joel, on the subject of Jeff Gordon, he's the sentimental favorite of people in the stands. Drivers such as yourself have expressed your admiration for him, but do you have to flick a switch though come Sunday and do your job and beat him in a sense, maybe be the villain if you have to be?
Oh yeah, I mean we race. If you watch, you'll notice that we race each other pretty hard, all of us, and I think that people always ask, who do you hate on the racetrack or who do you not like, and it's just the guy in front of you. You just got to go beat every single person, and and each week there might be a different person who's fast, or all that stuff is in the race car. At least that's how I approach it. Just everybody. It's me versus everybody else. I got to go do the best I can. I will say that from a storybook perspective, that last week was pretty cool for that 24 team and for Jeff to win there. I mean, that's just amazing. And I just saw little pieces on one of the commercials or something about, of his victory lane. That was neat to see a guy that happy and to have his family there and everything. That looked really, really fun. So as a racer, I can definitely appreciate how cool that was, that moment. But we definitely don't want him to have that moment at Homestead. So yes, we'll go out there and try to beat him and everyone else the best we can.
All right, we'll go to Dustin and then Steve.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Carl, obviously a lot of talk this week about calling somebody and apologizing or reaching out to them, and how when's that done, when's that not done. Somebody was telling me that sometimes you call even if you don't feel like you're sorry, but you try to as a way to kind of calm the waves. Or have you ever had a situation where you felt you did things right, but you went ahead and called and kind of said you're sorry, and it was I don't know, disingenuous is the right word, but just it was not, you didn't feel like you were in the wrong, but you called and expressed that type of remorse, and did it matter?
I've not done what you're saying there, but for me, my personal thing, the way my father taught me when I started racing, and the thing that I stick to is that if something happens on the racetrack and it costs someone else, their car or the day or the race or something, I believe it's very important to respect that guy and the effort that his team put out. And I mean, I've made some bonehead moves and had to call people and said, hey, look, man, I am really sorry. I did not mean to do that. And a lot of times it doesn't matter. I mean, they're still, mad at you big time. But to me, it's really simple. If you mean to do something and you meant to do it and there's a reason, I think it's just as important to tell the guy, hey, I did that for that reason. I did it because this, and this. And you can still feel bad that it cost him his day or his team's day. But I just think it's important to, for me at least, I think it's important to let people know where you stand and be honest. And if it's an accident, call them and say it's an accident. If it wasn't an accident, you don't really have to call them. But if they ask, I definitely don't say, hey, that was an accident. I mean, you tell them why you did it. Right, yeah. The most important thing, I think, is if you do feel bad about it at all, I think it's important to let them know. But yeah, you're right. So going the other way, if something happens to me and somebody doesn't say, hey, that was inadvertent, then I do assume that it was on purpose. So that's how I take it.
All right, we'll go to Steve and then finish up with Jerry Jordan.
Steve Richards with PRN to your right. Hey. You've won a couple times at Phoenix. Results lately have been mixed. Can you talk about Phoenix and what's gone right, what's gone wrong?
Phoenix is one of my favorite racetracks. It's the first place at which I ever raced on pavement. I mean, it was a really big deal for me, the Copper World Classic in 2001. So that place is special to me, and we've had some really great races there. Struggle a little bit lately, but we had the 20 car had a good test out there, and we feel like it could be a good race for us. You just never know. As that place ages, it changes a lot. With this package, it's very important the track position is, you got the good track position. It's really important that your car is perfect, because if somebody's better, they will beat you. I mean, there's a lot of grip. But for me, it's a fun place to go. I hope it's a good week, and I hope it's better in the spring. Right, it is a very precise track. Yes, you got to have perfect restarts. Your car has to be really good, and with the aero package the way it is, and that place hasn't really widened out a ton, it really is tough to pass. But it's just like anything. Every time you go back, you come back with better stuff and different strategies and different setups. So you just don't really know until after that first practice session is what you've got. You don't know until it's over.
All right, and we'll finish up with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires. Hey, not a Matt question.
Great. That's perfect. Matt. Part of Matt's penalty should have been to come here and be the only one that has to answer questions about Matt. That would have been great.
I heard you had a little trouble. Things were a little dicey coming in here last night, flying in. Get Harry up there, or what was it?
So I made the wise choice to not fly in last night, which was that's kind of new for me. I'm becoming a little better decision maker, but. Yeah, I looked at the weather. We had a a thing to do with DeWalt, and I wasn't able to make it. It was a really cool thing. They gave away a Harley-Davidson motorcycle and a bunch of tools, and I wanted to be here, but yeah, I looked at that weather, and I don't know, you guys lived it. I was back home. I was a long ways away.
All right, Carl, thanks for joining us, and good luck
All right.
Sunday.
Thanks, guys.